Hello and welcome. I am so glad to have all of you here today. I have a Zoom room open, so some people are joining me live. I'm also live on Facebook Live and Instagram Live. So hello from all these different places. Those who are in the Zoom room have been able to come in here because they registered at metaphysicalupgrade.com. You are here at Drop Your Money Story and Fund the Life of Your Dreams. This is a 5-day free training series. I have to tell you all, I was very inspired to do this series. I've just come back from some traveling myself. It's the perfect time. I've had a lot of creating and manifesting going on very recently and over this journey I've been on over the past 9 months. I have not done this training in the past 2 years. This is the first time I'm doing this free training again from 2 years ago. And this was by far one of the most popular that people showed up for. So I'm so excited to share this with you again. I'll be here every day this week in all 3 of these places. You can get more information at metaphysicalupgrade.com. I'm working the technology here, letting people into the room. Metaphysicalupgrade.com. Hello, Instagram Live and Facebook Live as well. So let's get started. This is day 1 of a 5-day journey. I have manifested so much in the past 2 years in so many different areas of my life. And when I did this training 2 years ago, I felt like I had just come through another big up level. This process, the way I break this down for you, because we're working with universal law, universal principles, law of attraction, your energy, your emotions, your thoughts, your beliefs, all these big pieces. And this has to become for you at some time a way of living and a way of being. I didn't get to all this instantly. I've gotten to where I have instant manifestations show up. I'm going to teach you about my mantra, universe, surprise, and delight me. And it really does. And at the same time, I want you to realize you have to start learning to be impeccable with your energy and the way you live and what you're thinking and feeling and doing and how you are being and how that aligns and lines up with what you desire, and then learning to work within the universal laws. God, spirit, source created the universe as a divine, intelligent being. Universal law are the laws of the universe that hold it all together, so that we can be physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual beings. In the same way, when we come and live on earth, there are laws of gravity and all kinds of other laws that are in existence, whether you believe them or not. And I have found the same to be true about the law of attraction, which I have learned then to come out into all the universal laws. I turned my life into an experiment with the law of attraction back in 2003, and it has been an incredible journey that led me to quit my career as a therapist, to start my own business so I could do things the way I was called and the way I wanted. And I have had my business now for 15 years, and it has continued to grow and evolve as I have. What I've also created is finally a life of freedom, money freedom, time freedom. Those are both very important to me. Even more important, though, is to be able to have the spiritual journey of my dreams, and to have the life with my family and my friends, my children, now my new grandbaby, and all of that without money making my decisions. I had a mentor who taught me long ago, and I'm so glad. Because back then, financial freedom for me was always, how much money do I need this month? How much money, if it were in my bank account, would I then have financial freedom? And what one of my mentors, who's my coach and mentor right now, financial relaxation. And my mentor then told me financial freedom is not how much money you have anywhere in these places at any time. It's knowing how to create all the money you want and need when you want and need it. All of these things I'm going to be bringing together for you in these 5 days as fully as I can, and putting them into this 5-step system. And at the same time, this is work that I do ongoing with my clients and my students. And if you feel called to explore how I could help you with that, you can send me a private message on Facebook or Instagram, or go to my website, michellebarr.com or workingforspirit.com, and you'll be able to find all that out. On with this: money freedom, time freedom, financial relaxation, having the spiritual journey of your dreams, basically living life your way, doing life your way with epic results. That's what I've created for myself over the past 2 decades, and especially the past 15 years. I have not been employed by anyone else by my own choice since 2006. This works. And remember what I'm sharing with you. There are things you can do right now. Every day of this 5-day training series, I'm going to be giving you things to do now. And this also starts becoming a way you walk through the world, because some of the things that I have manifested that are huge are desires I sent out years ago. You can go on my YouTube channel, my Facebook, my Instagram, read my books, all of that, and find all these manifestation stories. My best manifestation stories are when I get to tell my friends, you can't make this shit up. That's the life you start living. Oh my gosh, again, you can't make this shit up. And it just keeps happening and happening. Some of those desires went out there and I wasn't ready to receive or allow what I was asking for. I wouldn't have known to do with it. I was resisting it. I wasn't open to it. Remember, universal law says, ask and it is given. This is found in every sacred text for a reason. Ask and it is given. It is given immediately. Our action is not how we create it. Our inspired and aligned action is how we receive and allow what is already there in the field for us. We have to bring it into the 3rd dimension. Here's another piece. You always have to go first. Spirit cannot impede on your free will. So we have to start right now by getting clear on your desire and learning how to make a clear ask. It's one of the biggest things. People come to me and they've kept themselves in confusion. Confusion is a survival mechanism, a defense mechanism. It will not serve you. There's always a way out of confusion. Another universal law that I stand by, that I use to guide my life and my business every single day, is wherever there is a desire, a way has already been made. Wherever there's a desire, a way has already been made. Sit here with me and let that land. Because when I first used to hear it, I was like, okay, I want to believe it. I want to hear it. Yes, okay. But I wasn't sure. And now I 100% count on it. 100%. What I share with you, I've gone ahead of you. I've tested it out before I ever bring it to you. I have called this training Drop Your Money Stories and Fund the Life of Your Dreams, because the money stories are the biggest thing. Your stories in general, they're what get in your way. They're what block all your greatness. They're what keep your desires from coming to you. You've got to learn to catch them and get rid of them. I did in February, 2 months ago, I did a 5-day training series. I'm doing them almost every single month. So you can always find them at metaphysicalupgrade.com. But you can find the last series was all about manifestation, and it's at workingforspiritpodcast.com. You can find all of that there. It's also all on YouTube for you now. Along on YouTube, there's some Drop Your Money story from 2 years ago. There's more here now because in the past 2 years, so much more has happened. So I'm giving you a lot of pieces. And the way I work when I work with people is I'm giving you information. At the same time, I'm transmitting energy and I'm letting it all land. So your mind is picking up things and your energy is picking up things. And some of it will keep working on you, and some of it you're ready to hear, and some of it you might not be, but just come open and let it land and receive the information and the energy that is coming with it. These stories, these money stories. I was a therapist before I was a coach. And in therapy, it serves a purpose. It's still great. I have a lot of clients who stay in therapy and then they want to also add coaching, and some who want to leave therapy. And then people I know who love being therapists. It just wasn't a fit for me anymore because I do so much better as a coach. I can serve so much better as a coach. As a therapist, people came to me often for long periods of time, every single week sometimes, and they told me their stories, and we witnessed their stories and we heard their stories, but we weren't able in a lot of ways to move them completely out of those stories. And I saw a lot of people staying a victim and re-victimizing and labeling and living within those labels. Because energetically, this is another universal principle. Whatever you say is. 100% stand by this now. Myself, the hundreds of clients, the thousands of people I've worked with and served, the coaches. I haven't been without a coach since 2009. Whatever you say is. So when you're telling these stories and when you're in your stories, remember, you are triggered. When you're telling these stories, you're triggered. So they have a lot of emotion, and emotion, invoked emotion, plus your desires, your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are what go out and interact with the field and create in the third dimension where we're living all of your results. Everything in your life right now is feedback, both what you think is the positive and the negative. And when I look at it, I can instantly show you and tell you what's showing up. I can see the patterns. You're playing out patterns. You're playing out core issues. And when you can get rid of them, everything will shift. I've been doing this. I know, I trust in it. As a coach, I had to first learn in helping my clients and students not to fall into your money stories, because they're stories and whatever you say is. And yet I know wherever a desire, a way has already been made. And these play out against each other until you learn to work with them. People coming not clear on your desires, or clear on your desire, and in the next breath, why you can't have it, shouldn't have it, never could have it before, all of those things. But remember, if you're waiting on God or spirit, you'll keep waiting. Spirit cannot impede on your free will. You have to make a decision, own it 100%, and take an inspired, aligned, third dimensional, real world action, which activates, and then spirit will rush in to meet you. Go all the way back to Think and Grow Rich, Science of Success, all the way forward, Bob Proctor. Jack Canfield, Dr. Joe Vitale, Lisa Nichols, all those people from The Secret, Dr. Joe Dispenza. I've studied with a lot of them. Some of them have been beloved mentors for me. They're all saying this. You've got to learn to work within these laws, and you've got to learn the action piece. And that's my absolute wheelhouse, taking aligned and inspired action, moving people out of the stuckness, the paralyzed, the fear, and the frozen that they're stuck in. Today, we're beginning day one of this 5-day process that I am helping you learn all this with. Today's word is discover. We're going to have to discover where we have money blocks, where we're falling in holes. You, by showing up here and participating, are being invited to discover where you have money blocks, where you're falling in holes, where you're staying in the ditch, where you're writing and telling yourself money stories that are not serving you because you have these money stories. Remember, universal law, as I told you, says whatever you say is. It has to act out the money stories you tell. And you're triggered when you're in the money story. So they amplify and they create bigger than anything else. You can write 100 affirmations in a journal and it won't work on its own. That's why I've called this Drop Your Money Story and Fund the Life of Your Dreams. It's a big promise, yet it's something I've been able to do consistently, sustainably, profitably for years now. So I am able to help you do it as well. I want to keep sharing with you. Right now, everything I say to you is an invitation to discover. And I'm going to invite you this week to look, to pay attention to your money, to catch yourself in the stories. And I'm teaching you how to do this. So the first thing I want you to do right now, this is your part. This is your homework. You're going to come up with a money number. And I want it to stretch you. You're going to create this amount of money this week. What you can do in a day, in a week, you can do in a month, and then you can do in a year, and then backwards to where I started using this to learn how to turn my yearly money goal into a monthly money goal and a weekly money goal. And then it can be a daily money goal. So I want you to come up with a number that will stretch you, because you're still training your brain to believe. And you're still building a body of evidence. You've got to work with the physical and with your mind and your emotions, all of this. You have to flip this. This is something Wayne Dyer said. People always say, well, I'll believe it when I see it. And it's standard, and you hear it. You may even have grown up with it. Show me and then I'll believe it. When in fact, from a universal law perspective and an energetic perspective and even a brain perspective, you will see it when you believe it. The belief has to come first, because opportunities, I was asking, and opportunities were showing up and I could not see them, because I could not believe they were there for me. I had excuses why they weren't for me or not for me right now, or I couldn't see them at all. Because here's the other thing. When those opportunities start showing up, especially at first until you've worked with this more, they're uncomfortable. They're inconvenient, I can promise you. Sometimes they're expensive and they're illogical. So the short game is, I want to teach you how to do this right now. The long game is, I want to teach you how to live this so you can consistently do it and get the big payoffs. I just created for myself this year a financial windfall that is life-changing and game-changing. And I had to finally become a vibrational match to it but it could only come to me because of things I have been doing spirit-led for 15 years. I can trace it back. Every decision, every inspired and aligned action. And I want you to really get that. It's both. It's now and it's the long game, because in short term, Spirit has been able to give me some really cool things. But now in the long game, Spirit is bringing me life-changing money, a home of my dreams that I never could even fully believe that I could have, trips, experiences, all of these things, the business of my dreams, the travel with my business of my dreams. So you will see it when you believe it. You've got to work on your beliefs. Come up with a number that either is a true need you have right now, today, this week, this month, or a number that pops into your head. Money loves a decision, a place to go, and speed. Money loves when you pay attention to it. I also used to be someone, I'm very right-brained, and I was bad in math. And I don't even, that's even a story to tell myself, but I always believed I was bad in math. Therefore, I would not understand money. But there was a time, if you would have told me I would be a well-known business and money coach, I would have said you were nuts. And yet here I am, and my second book is all about it. I was good at it. So I used to be like, I'm not going to look at my checkbook. I'm not going to look at my bank account. Oh no, now it's overdrawn. Now I'll figure out what to do. I don't want to look at where there's not money and it's not coming in. And instead, I had to do the opposite. And I got a planner that has those squares for, you have the planner, like a paper planner. I use a calendar online for most everything because it's on my phone and my computer, but I got a paper year calendar with the squares. And for a time, I tracked every penny that came in every day. And some days it was zero. Some days it was zero. And a lot of days it wasn't a lot, but it grew and grew because I paid attention every single day, every penny that came to me. And then every week I added it up, and every month I added it up. And then I came up with my average monthly money coming in, both for my business, but all the money. Because here's the thing, when you step in and you provide your true value to the world, Spirit can bring you the money in all different ways. It doesn't have to come from that, but you have to show up. Your bank account is not reflecting to you your value intrinsically. You are a precious child of God. You exist on the planet. You're here. You have value. It's reflecting to you the percentage of the value you came here with that you're actually putting out into the world. And the more I do that, the more money and everything else flows to me from all different sources. I really want you to get that and start getting honest. What is inside of you that you have reasons that you are not putting it out in the world now? You will be rewarded for that. So you're going to come up with this number. You're going to write it down somewhere. If you have one of those calendars, you're going to track it and you're going to see what amount of money. Now, I also want you to realize in the beginning, there's a wobble. I have gotten to where every time I said, I need $5,000 in new money this month coming in, then I say, where's the wobble? Because you're going to have a wobble. So if you get to the end of a week from now, and the full amount hadn't come in, pay attention to every dollar that's come in, every penny that's come in, and all the stuff that comes up, because that's what we have to clear, heal, and resolve for all the money to come in. And what you're going to start doing is creating stories. Oh, that Michelle Barr, yeah, easy for her to say, look, there again, someone else is doing it. It doesn't work for me. Story, story, story. Now you're in your story, and the universe has to U-turn and start letting you live your stories. Do you see this? You have total control over this. Anything that shows up in my world, I am on it. I am on it now. I catch those stories. I catch myself when I'm telling them. So as soon as you set this money goal, you're going to start paying attention to opportunities that show up everywhere, and to money that's wanting to come in that you can allow and receive. Do not turn down free lunch. Do not turn down discount. Do not turn down anything anyone is trying to give you. Oh, you need it more. Oh, I can't take that. Oh, I really shouldn't. Or opportunities to receive and allow money. And then everything that comes up that's getting in the way and telling stories and triggering you and keeping you from it. All the stories of why you can't have it, or why you can't have it now, or why this isn't working again, because I never, everyone in my family, all of these things. Pay attention to money this week and your relationship with it. Money is energy. It's a renewable resource. And we impress upon it what we need it to be for us. And most of the time it doesn't serve us until we learn money is energy and a renewable resource that's here to serve us. And all those people that are still saying, I wish money didn't exist and someday it won't exist. This is across humanity, whether it was money or something else. It represents the energetic exchange. You've got to be in energetic exchange. This is for another training, but it is why I stand firm with my clients and students and in my industry about no bartering, no trading. It never works. And you're telling the universe, I'm available for it. Even worse, people who are giving it away for free, which is rampant in my community. It's my soapbox, people, giving it away for free, and then working a job you don't love, and then doing what you love on nights and weekends. You didn't come here to do your purpose on nights and weekends when you're exhausted. You came here to live your purpose, to be your purpose, to be in your purpose, your life purpose and your soul purpose. You have both. And when you can truly step in and live both, integrated and aligned, so much magic happens. You cannot even believe it. I had coaches along the way also poking me as the good started happening to me. And this could happen for some of you. You've gotten very comfortable. I have a client working through this right now. I can have this much, but if I had this much, while the people in my world have this much, I will be judged. People will think I'm selfish or greedy. Why do I need more? Why do I want more? And you might stop yourself. And my coaches kept saying, how good are you willing to let it get? Then you can choose what to give away, but from a full well. I help people more now, but it's not giving my services for free. It's helping people in philanthropic ways. I do all kinds of things. I have my charities and my philanthropies, and I regularly give money, and I've created foundations in my community to give money, but that's different than giving money or free readings or free coaching or whatever it is, or letting you sit in my class for free. And also because I built a business where people pay me at the level of the value I'm providing. I can show up here for 5 days free and feed you all for free because it's built into my business. There's a structure for it. The biggest shift I'm going to teach you right now, it was a big one for me, is when you are confronted and presented with a retreat is a good one, because I'll see a retreat back in the day. Now I go to everything. If it's a full body yes and it calls to me, I'm going and I'm creating new money for it. And we'll talk more about that this week. I used to say, and people say to me all the time, I really want to go, or I really want to do that, but I don't have the money. I can't afford it. That is a knee-jerk reaction. You get triggered. Now you're in thoughts, beliefs, feelings. You have invoked emotions telling the universe what is, and you're negating wherever there's a desire, a way has already been made. I learned, and this has been life changing and game changing, life changing. This is about your energy management and emotional mastery. You've got to take 100% responsibility. You've got to take control of this. I never say I cannot afford that or I don't have the money. I don't even say, I don't see how I could do that. If it's a desire and a full body yes, and it's for me, I say, I am creating new money for this. And then I start watching for the opportunities. I do everything that's my part. That training I told you to go to workingforspiritpodcast.com, my last 5-day training was all about manifesting your part and the universe's part. So go back and get that, because this is what I'm referring to right now. I start doing my part and the universe does its part. Now, here is a big trip up that people do to themselves. It's a pitfall. The money comes in. It doesn't always come in all at once. One time I had to create $7,500 for something that felt huge. And at the same time, I knew I had to do it for my business and for the up level. And I can't even tell you how much it paid off. I have those stories. You can go to that workingforspiritpodcast.com and just look at my episode about my Dr. Joe Vitale story, because I don't want to take the time to tell it again right now. That one thing I did to create that new money, when at that time, $7,500 was humongous for me. I did it, and the payoff has been, could be $1 million, could be hundreds of thousands. But again, I did things step by step. That's a great episode, the Dr. Joe Vitale story, because it'll show you things I did for years and said yes to that led to all the things that came of it. Even when you don't know why you're doing the things you're doing, when they're spirit led and they're aligned and they're inspired, do them every time. The one thing my clients will tell you I teach them is aligned, inspired action immediately as soon as it shows up. And that's something Dr. Joe Vitale taught me when I thought I was already doing well at that. So the big pitfall. So first 500 came in. Now people's mind go, wow, okay. All of it didn't come in, but 500 showed up. And that first 500 showed up quick, because 500, I was pretty good at allowing and receiving at that time. Then your mind says, wow, I need new tires, or the car broke down. And these things will actually start happening as you're creating the money. If one of your stories is something like, I can only use this money for things I need, or every time I'm going to pay for something I want, I end up having to, the money has to go to an emergency. Those are stories. That's energy, and you create it. And I can show you why and how. And I stand by it 100%. I immediately sent that $500 as a deposit to them. And every penny of new money that came in, because I said, I'm creating new money for this. I did not say I can't afford it. I said, all the money I have, I am creating new money. All the money I have right now is earmarked for other things. Never did I tell a story, I don't have it, I can't afford it. The truth is, and some coaches use this and it's effective, it doesn't work well with me, but some version of, if someone in your family needed an emergency service right this minute, surgery, if someone was being held for ransom of all things, or if you needed $7,500 right now, and it was important enough you would find it. It's true. So the problem is the money starts coming in. You have asked spirit. This is the pitfall. You've asked spirit for the money. The new money comes in, and now you get back into your old patterns and habits, your scarcity, lack, poverty. And this money has shown up above and beyond what you're planning for, above your paycheck, above whatever is coming in and what you're expecting. You have to honor your agreement with spirit and put it toward what you asked for. You have to. And at first, sometimes this will trip people up. Every penny of new money that came in, and it came in from all kinds of places, every penny until that 7,500 was met. And I gave myself 90 days. I turned it into an experiment. You can see it on my YouTube. I gave myself 90 days and I did it live in front of my community, and I created it in 8 weeks. It works. So that's another one. When you start working with this, you have to be impeccable with your word, impeccable with your energy. You cannot be splitting your energy. The universe is neutral. It responds to your vibration and your frequency. So you're going to pay attention to your money this week. You're going to set your money intention of what money you want to bring in the next week. And you're going to have a place for it to go. If you have a true need, start there. If you don't have a true need right now, think of somewhere you want it to go. It can go in a travel bucket. It can go towards something. But you see, I want to come back to this because my attention's coming back. That was not a true need. What I was creating that $7,500 for, if I had not done it, no one in my family would be hurt. Nothing would happen to me. There'd be no negative consequences in the moment. But in hindsight, that was some years ago, 5 or more years ago. Everything in my business, my money, my life, relationships, my clients, all of it that I could not have known. I just knew I had to do it. It was spirit led. It was inspired and aligned, and I did it. Every penny. I created new money and I honored my agreement, and spirit brought it. You've also got to hold your energy. I couldn't let myself go. 500 came in. I'm never going to make the 7,500. If I'd gotten past 90 days, I would still be holding the energy and the ask and the desire until I had it. It just meant I had more to clear. There was too much wobble for it to get to me that quickly. But it came 8 weeks instead of 90 days because I've done a lot of work on this. So imagine that amount of money, and now it's created and it comes in. And now we use my mantra. This is an experiment. Get excited. Even if you really need money and you're in a place of true need, I cannot wait to see how spirit brings this money to me. I cannot wait to see. Wild things will happen. They happen to me. They happen to my clients, my friends, my colleagues when we do this. Universe, surprise and delight me and get excited. That's a higher energy. How is the universe going to bring me this money? I had a colleague just last week. We work regularly together on this. She had a true need, and it was a big amount of money. It came so out of left field. We were breathless, but it showed up when she needed it. And this is a good one. It didn't show up through her business, but she did everything she knew to do with all the value she had. And then it showed up. My mentor taught me that about financial freedom is being able to create all the money you want and need when you want and need it. Also, same mentor, where there is a desire, a way has already been made. My coach and mentor that I'm with now, that I mentioned to you, she studied with this other mentor. of mine who taught me these things. So she was able to uphold that. You want a mentor that just is not going to just teach you what you need now, but that can uphold these pieces if you are looking to live and work and be and do and have in this way, that lives it. She lives it and I live it. So there's an important piece. Me investing in myself to be in her energy up-leveled me beyond what she told me strategically and coaching, and even the principles and the guidance she gave me. You step into the energy and you up-level. And she was a huge stretch for me, by the way. So I felt really called to do this training for you all again, because as much as I work on this, when she showed up and Spirit said, here's your next step, it'll get you everywhere, I had some money stories. She and I did podcasts together. Her name's Gina DeVee. She's on my podcast episode and I'm on hers, Divine Living Podcast. I talk all about it. Go get those and listen, because we can laugh now. I had a big money story and it would have been devastating on the other side of it if I had let that money story hold me. Instead, what I created was a million times beyond, literally. It's going to stretch and grow you, though, especially at first. Now I'm more comfortable with the stretching and growing. My whole journey with Gina DeVee over the past 9 months and hiring her as my coach was the biggest stretch I have ever made, and it gave me the biggest rewards. The reason it stretch and grow you is because you're not yet a match to it. That wobbles in there. If you were already a match to it, you would already have it. You have to shift energetically. So today, day one, discover. I want you to also realize another important piece. So you're really this week and today, because I'm breaking this down into 5 days. I'm going to give you 5 steps. Then you could also take each step and do them for a week or a month. When I'm teaching this with my clients and students, I'm giving you a blip, a screenshot. But this is something, and I do it over and over. Every time I come back, what do I need to discover? What do I need to shift? On and on and on through those 5 steps you're going to get this week. There's a difference I want you to see in when you're triggered and it's a money story. And I have a good example. There was a cruise. The minute I saw the cruise, it was a full body yes for me. I knew I needed to go. I started my process to create the money for it. I didn't have new money at the time. I knew I was doing it. I told some friends, some of my friends were on board. They all wanted to go. And we have this little trio of 3 really good friends. And 2 of us were so full body, yes, so on, we're making it happen. And we told the one other friend and we were excited. And she was not at all triggered. So this is the difference. She knew it was just not for her. She checked in. She wasn't called to it, even though 2 of her really good friends were going, but there was no triggering. And I know there was not a money story. She was not inside, oh, I want to go, but my friends can afford it and I can't. It was not where she wanted to put her money. She was creating some other big things. And when she told us, there was no triggering. That's different than a money story. That's not for me. I have no desire. That's not calling to me right now. Sometimes I see things that I'm even for a minute, should I be jumping on this? No, but it's not. It's when you have desire and resistance, especially high desire and high resistance. So you can check in. But my clients will come with these money stories. Catch the stories this week that you are telling yourself. Catch any time that you're making yourself a victim. Here's another one. I want you, but more than that, I need you to start paying attention to how you talk and how you feel about people with money. And in my industry and in my world, especially in the whole coaching, personal development, transformation, healing, MLM world, even it extends out. Everybody, entrepreneurs with their own business, especially we're selling intangibles, not always products, but services, but all of it applies. What you think, feel, and say about what people are charging. In your world every day, you charge whether to go, you choose in your world every day, you choose whether to go to dollar store, Target, Walmart, Nordstrom, Macy's, Dillard's. You choose whether to go to Kia. I've gone to all of them: Kia, Toyota, Mercedes, Lexus, BMW at any time. You don't have to do any one of them. But what are your feelings about people who are charging? I'm telling you, in the coaching world, there's a huge difference in what people charge, and it's all got to be okay. There's a difference in that coach is not for me. I don't want to pay that right now, or I just don't want that coach, versus that's awful. That coach is charging that. Why do people charge? And even worse, in the intuitive space, especially, why are people charging for their gifts? If you want to see my soapbox fly out from under this desk right now, that's the one. And I talk about it all over. You can go to my YouTube, my Facebook Live, Instagram, all of it. How you talk and feel about people with money, and where do you judge? I found people that there's a certain limit, like there, it's fascinating to me. We're going to finish up here in a minute. We're almost to the hour. But notice this. There are people who are even comfortable with, in my world, because I'm in a big world of entrepreneurship. It's even like $1 million, a few million. Then all these people lash out at the billionaires. It was rampant for a few years. Why do those billionaires? They have too much money. If they would give their money to XYZ, I could go on and on with this. There's so much I have to say about it, but I just want you to get the point and really see, at what point are you saying you can charge this, but don't charge this, or you can have this much money, but not this much money? Because even somebody making 6 figures in an entrepreneurial business, an online business, like you see all the time, and they're charging, they have business costs, they have staff. They're doing this full time so they can fully be present. I don't hire people who are doing this on nights and weekends. In my healing and transformation, I want them full time doing it, unless they're called to do other work and then doing this. See, again, that's a difference in triggered and money stories, or what's your purpose. Everyone has a different. I have some clients who've done wonderful building a business and working in a job, planning for their retirement. It all has to be what fits and what's right for you. But that fascinated me all of a sudden when it came to the billionaires, what they're doing with their money, and suddenly that's too much. You weren't willing to do what they were willing to do to get there. And I know there is corporate, there is corruption. It's why I'm unemployable. I cannot work for other people anymore, because I used to go into those places, and instead of doing my job, I would uncover all that. So I'm not naive about that. But why don't they have the same right to have what they've created? And the other trip up is people say, some of them, but they're not good people, or they're not heart-centered, or they're not spiritual, and they're not about healing the planet. But the reason it's working for them is because they don't have their effing money stories, and they have belief, and they're living within the universal laws. How powerful that those of us who are heart-centered and spiritual and healing and transformational agents and have so much to offer, if we can get that kind of money in our hands and in our communities. And you can only do that by not being triggered by it and doing it and being it and having it. You will never allow yourself to be it, do it, and have it if you're judging other people. So those are ones you really got to catch. You are living in patterns of your own choosing. This is back to the 100% personal responsibility. I'm going to close up with this. You are living in patterns of your own choosing and choosing environments that support them. Think about that. You are living in patterns of your own choosing and choosing environments that support them. Discover where you're using money as an excuse and where you're falling into your money stories, and even where you're falling into the money stories of others. Don't fall into other people's money stories or your own. So many people are using money as an excuse, and you've got to get really real about it because it will take you down. So go out today, discover your relationship with money, discover your crap you're playing out with money, discover the ways you're not honoring money, discover the relationship you have with money, set your money goal for the week, for the extra money you want to create. I am creating new money for this. All the money I have is earmarked for other things. And give it a place to go, whether it is a want, a true need, or a desire. Whichever one it is, make yourself right. I want you to let this all land. I want you to absorb all this. You can come back to these recordings. And I'm going to leave you with that. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.